we're on the draw, and our hand is okay-ish. Ether Vial is really the card that makes us oh, there it is! Right on time. I was about to say, Ether Vial is the card that really makes this deck tick, and when we don't have it, our draw is like really average-ish, even if we curve out. But if we have the Vial, then our hand is just like very good. And yep, we're about to find out. So we can do some stuff here. So our Vial is going to be taxed pretty heavily at 2. And we want to get it up to 3 for the captain. So I think we want to cast one of our 2-drops, which means we probably, I think I want to save the images for the captain after we do that. So I think we want to flash Rattle Chains in on the opponent's end step after we use Vial to flash Wander onto the battlefield. That's what I'm thinking. Just force the opponent to act. Okay, results. Alright, here I think we want to play Lingering Souls, then attack with the Wanderer. Path to Exile. So if I copy it, the spirits already came onto the battlefield. So I guess that just resolves. Yes, and I will get Island. Now, if the opponent plays a creature, I could Phantasmal Image to copy their creature. I'm not going to copy a spirit token, so I'm just going to hold this. I am going to take up to 3, so we can get this captain going. Jeez, Lingering Souls. I feel like it's going to shine in this matchup. I want to wait for the opponent to be tapped out to go crazy with this. So if I just like try to flashback Lingering Souls, well, I don't want to get Supreme Verdicted either. Ideally, I would like to go end step, flash draw skill captain onto the battlefield, untap, image, copying both the captains. So then all our guys are just huge. Maybe that involves... I guess I can't really flashback to, so... Don't remand me, bro. No? Okay. I mean, I guess there's no real hurry to trying to kill the opponent. We could just be like, all right, we have a bunch of spirit tokens. You know, it's your move. Make you do something. Like, we don't have to just play out our hand into whatever card they have. See, like, I don't even want to play Wescoe Captain here. I just want to wait. That one's a nice one. See, like, if we just go Violin to play the Wescoe Captain, play Image, all of our spirit tokens get +3/+3, which means we're attacking for 16. But the opponent definitely has something. They have 3 cards in hand and 5 untapped lands. So we're just going to save that play for later, you know? We could even just make a spirit on their end step with the Moorland Haunt. Like, we're under no, like, we're not being pressured to make a play yet at all. We're just going to slowly value the opponent out, force the opponent to do something. That's pretty cool. We get different spirit tokens. Like Lingering Souls and Moorland Haunt. Yeah, we're just going to make the opponent do something. Always no, always yield. Alright, there's our Mutavault too. We might just defeat our opponent with a Lingering Souls. This is very possible. These Jeskai decks are not set up to deal with Lingering Souls very well in general. I guess here's where we could go for it, because the opponent needs to do something. I mean, I guess we're attacking for lethal anyway, because we have 7. Jeez, now we have Queller too. Let's counter their spell. Alright, so we could try to cast Wescoe Captain. We could activate Mutavault. I think I like activating Mutavault, maybe. Well, no, I could Queller their spell. I could Violin to play Wescoe, and then I could activate Moorland Haunt. I feel like attacking them for 5 is probably good enough, instead of activating Mutavault here. Yeah, sure, why not? Resolves. Alright, still no reason to act. going to be good enough. Just, yep. All we needed was Lingering Souls. That's it. Just cast 1 Lingering Souls and sat here with a Vial on 3 the entire game. I mean, we had plenty of stuff to do. Like, we were ready for, like, their first, second, and third line of defense. The fact that we didn't need any of them was a little strange, but whatever, I guess we'll take it. So this is one of those matchups where Rest in Peace is okay, because it stops things like their Snapcaster Mage, but it also stops their Lingering Souls, which is great by itself in this matchup. So I don't want Rest in Peace here. If the opponent was like a Tarmogoyf plus Snapcaster Mage plus like Delver type deck or whatever, then that would be enough where I would bring in Rest in Peace, but not from the looks of things this match. I'm assuming they have a bunch of big spells to deal with our guys, which means these counters are going to be more effective. These Selfless Spirits are probably going to be good too, because they'll either have Supreme Verdict or they'll have Anger of the Gods, and Selfless Spirit stops both of those. So I think that'll be effective. Judge's Familiar is pretty reasonable here too, because they probably have Electrolyze. I think they also probably bring in, is it Staticaster? Sorin might not be especially effective, just because I don't think we're going to be getting burned out. We have too many creature targets that they have to burn, and so the life gain isn't especially relevant. And it's just this 4-mana tap-out card that it's probably just going to get stranded in our hand. Rattlechain, Favorable Winds is very good because it gets all of our guys out of range of Staticaster, and Gideon might even be good enough for that reason as well. Rattlechains can protect one guy from a removal spell, which is okay. Not fantastic. Lingering Souls, All-Star, Drogskull Captain, Spell Queller. I don't think I'm ever going to board either of those out. Phantasmal Image, that might be a card that can come out, because copying the Captain is great, but really copying anything else is pretty lackluster here. The opponent doesn't have any great targets, so I think we could side out maybe 2 of those. Maybe bring back the Rattlechains, or the Gideon. The Gideon might be reasonable too. The opponent probably has some counter magic of their own, which means Gideon might not be great. We're going to start with this. And if we decide we need Gideon, we'll bring him in for game 3. Okay, I guess this isn't bad. Not exactly the opener that we're looking for, but it's sufficient because it does lead with Vial. It has a lot of the stuff that we want to get going at some point, so then we're just like, all we basically need to do is draw creatures now. Can we copy a Mutavault? What happens if we copy a Mutavault? Whatever. I don't think we're going to be attacking with Mutavault on turn 2. We'd rather leave up mana to do stuff. So I think we can afford to... Well, let's see. Turn 2 we're going to probably play the Flooded Strand, which means we leave up. Then we might attack the Mutavault the next turn. So I guess we lead with the Mutavault. Vial also seems very good against him, against our opponent, because they have counter magic. Like if they're trying to spell snare, we could just use Vial to get around it. Nice. Here we can get a blue-black. You get Watery Grave with Flooded Strand. So then if we draw Lingering Souls, we can flash it back. Game 1 was not close. Just literally could not beat a Lingering Souls. I suspect that they're going to bring in answers to Lingering Souls, like Staticaster. But we're ready for that. We got this Path to Exile in hand. End step, I guess we will... I guess it doesn't matter which we lead with. Alright, kind of like where things are going this game. Do I attack with Mutavault? I think no. Leave up negate mana. I mean, Spell Pierce at this point is probably going to be good enough. So, like, attacking with the Mutavault is reasonable there, but I don't know. Maybe Mutavault's attack was correct. Opponent maybe tries to bolt the Selfless Spirit. I mean, we have all our lines on top, so they probably just wait till our turn anyway. Do it with the Vial ability on the stack in case they're worried about Spell Queller. Then I guess we could image, we could activate Vial to image in response, and then copy the Selfless Spirit and sack the image. So here we could negate if we choose. Do we want to save it? Kind of like casting negate here. Remand. So do I sack the Judge's Familiar now? So let's see, the question is, if they remand or negate, we could counter the remand, then our negate counters the bolt. Or we could let the remand resolve, they draw a card, we get negate back in our hand, we sack Judge's Familiar to counter the bolt. So do we want to have our negate in hand and the opponent have a random card? Or do we not want that? I guess we already have a Spell Pierce in hand. Probably don't need another, we don't need a negate. So I think, yeah, we'll just counter the remand. I guess we'll leave that on 2. So I'm going to know which one's Summoning Sick. Don't know. Guessing it's the back one is the one we want to activate. Guessed correctly. I think I want to play this image now. Guess I'll copy Selfless Spirit. And then we attack. And then we have Spell Pierce, Path to Exile up. Maybe it was premature to cast the Selfless Spirit there. Not sure. Definitely on the plan of attack with Moon Vault, though. Do I want to add a counter? I'm gonna go with yes. Question is, who do we attack with? I think we attack with just one Mutavault. Opponent is likely to do something here. Path to Exile on the Mutavault. I think that's acceptable. That's kind of strange. I would think that he would target the Phantasmal Imaged Selfless Spirit, because then that just dies to the path, we don't get a land. Instead, they just basically Spreading Seized our Mutavault without drawing a card. Just turned Mutavault into an island, which is not that effective when we're just tapping one of the Mutavaults to activate the other one. Which I guess the only reasoning for that being the case would be if the opponent has a way to deal with both of our Selfless Spirits together somehow. I don't know, maybe Electrolyze, deal 1/1. Well, then I just sack the imaged one to protect the other one. Not sure why the opponent did that. They can even cast Snapcaster Mage to block the Mutavault if they want to. Always no. Always yield. Okay. So the opponent could sacrifice both Tarns and activate Colonnade to block, but then we'll just Path to Exile it, and then if they counter, we counter back with the Spell Pierce. So I think that we could attack with this guy. One turn down, could be Snapcaster on Path to Exile, I guess. It's looking like it's activate Colonnade. Okay, so Colonnade gets activated, and we Path to Exile it. The opponent did not have a response, so they're just taking 6. Goes to 1. Now the question is, do we play the Mausoleum Wanderer, or do we leave up Spell Pierce mana? I think it's Spell Pierce, because the Mutavault is lethal. We could just sacrifice the Selfless Spirits to counter any sort of Wrath that the opponent has. And that's it. We win. Good games. We destroyed that opponent.